Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Mithra from Product Marketing here at SuperOps, and joining me today is Sriram from Product Marketing as well, who will be taking us through this entire session. Today, we're going to talk about how IT teams are reimagining endpoint support with tabs, Slack, and Microsoft Teams, and more importantly, how this support can happen where users you are already working instead of forcing them into disconnected workflows. Before we start, quick note, please drop whatever questions you have into the chat or Q&A box, and we'll cover them for you throughout the session. Let me just move on to the next slide. Okay, so first we'll look at what's broken in traditional workflows and why so many teams struggle with fragmented tools and communication. But how SuperOps can solve for all of this is directly bringing Slack and Teams to where you guys work. And next we'll move on to the Q&A session. So Sriram and I can answer all your questions directly. With that, we'll jump right in. Okay. Yeah, so the starting point is simple. Your users already live inside Teams or Slack. That's where they collaborate, they ask questions, follow up with your teammates, or get any work done. So when they need help, that's naturally where they reach out to first. But in many organizations, support still expects users to leave those tools or go into a portal and send an email or follow a separate process, which can be sometimes troublesome. That disconnect is what is creating friction at this moment. And someone who needs help really fast has to go through a lot of process to get that help. And that really is the shift we are talking about today, like how IT teams should meet users where they already are and not the other way around. Let me quickly move on to my next slide. Okay. So when you look at like your traditional support workflows, the problem becomes super obvious. Sometimes the request is coming through an email or they sit in your inboxes and they get buried in your threads. And by the time you reach out to that user, the problem is already escalated. Or sometimes it can happen over quick pings or huddles or calls, but which may help in that moment. But if you don't actually leave context or visibility for the team members, it's really tough to follow up on that as well. Or it can be in a portal that, sorry to say, but nobody actually uses. It may exist, but when users really need to get to help quickly, they are still default to Slack or Teams because that's where they really are. So the real issue isn't if teams don't have channels or not. It's that those channels are disconnected from your support workflow. And that fragmentation comes at a real big cost. So let's say an average IT team is switching across 11 or 12 tools almost daily. And the large share of tickets gets mixed into your other channels or gets delayed because support requests are scattered across multiple channels. And this is causing a lot of friction. And technicians lose hours and hours every week simply trying to switch context and like toggling between tools instead of actually solving the issue. So this is not just a workflow. This is not just a workflow issue. So this brings us to the real problem. Your tools are not really talking to each other. That is where we are stuck. If Slack is one place that your team is living in and tickets are living somewhere else, the device disconnect is what is causing all this friction. Updates happen in one place, but the solution is another place. And these systems are disconnected. IT teams end up spending too much time manually moving information from one tool to another. That's where support slows down. Context is completely lost, and users are feeling like they're repeating themselves over and over again. So this is, I think, a great point for me to hand it over to Sriram, who will walk us through how SuperOps changes all that for us. Sriram heads IT product marketing here at SuperOps. Over to you, Sriram.
Thank you so much, Mithra. I think that right there was a classic example of how there's an IT issue exactly when you want things to work really well. So in such cases, what usually happens is people are tired to go through the whole workflow of raising these issues with the right team and then getting support accordingly, right? One of the interesting slides, I understand, right? I'm going to jump right into the product and show you the exact solution that we have today. But I want to go a couple of slides back. Mithra, if you can get back to the workflow slide, right? So there's a lot of talk around the whole IT service delivery space as to tickets are dead. Like ITSM is dead, ITIL is dead because people are not raising service requests anymore. It's if you notice all these sentences, only thing that's common across here is the process that they are referring to, but not the solution. So like for instance, the problem remains the same. Like service delivery is not going to be dead because users are going to need help when you have your IT under control. So users are always going to reach out to you for support, like for incident, be it for incident request or be it for service requests for provisioning laptops or any of that matters. So service delivery is never going to be dead, but the process through which the service delivery is delivered is the problem that's causing a lot of friction these days. We've had like last 2 years, people talk about agentic AI and AI making huge waves, changing how the support works and how service delivery is carried out. One of the first and the primary point is the primary starting point of all these issues is the workflows that we are stuck into. Like just like how we went to a ticketing system from an email to a chat that provides live support to the end users without having to wait on email or portal. That is exactly where we are headed with respect to this whole Slack and Teams integration as well. Because right now, most of the communication happens in these channels, but your endpoint management is done in a different solution. Your mobile devices are managed in a different solution. And like, let's say if there is a issue with the router or the firewall or switch with respect to the particular network, that whole IT takes place in a separate network monitoring device as well. So one of the things that we could think about when we wanted to solve for this problem is like the problem that SuperOps solves on the whole, which is you have one platform that manages all of it together. And by that, what we refer to here is one system of records so that technicians have complete context of their service requests as well as incidents that their users raise with them. And this all-in-one story or the built-as-one story is something that everybody talks about right now because every tool right now has a ticketing component within the platform. Every tool has a endpoint management component. But what really is the issue is that these modules do not talk to each other. All in one does not always mean it's built as one. So there's no point in having all the context in one place if the context sharing does not happen between modules. That is the primary point of friction we see in terms of how modern IT teams operate as to how traditional old school IT services are delivered. So now let's just skip ahead to the solution, which is the Slack and Teams integration. So it's very, very important for these tools to talk to your endpoint management because your endpoint management is where monitoring and management of your assets happen. But all the requests, like let's say, like whatever Mithra got stuck into, right, initially, which is like suddenly your keyboard isn't working the way it's supposed to, and you are instantly stuck in a situation to get help when you're on a client call or on an important meeting with your partners. In such cases, users do not want to log into a portal. Users don't want to write an email to their team. One of the most common things that happen, like from the day one to here is people bringing like pinging the IT admins on Slack or Microsoft Teams because that's where the most common conversations happen. Because like let's say I'm stuck in a meeting and I need this issue to be resolved instantly. I can't think about 7 different processes or like exactly locating where the system tray icon is there on my asset so that IT can start looking into it. The only thing that I do is, hey, I know this IT guy who can help me with this. I know this IT person or IT team who can help me with this issue instantly. So what I'm going to do right now is the most important or the basic thing that I do is ping them on Slack or Microsoft Team or whatever the communication channel that the company is using. So that's where we want the integration to happen. And yeah, we can move on to the next slide. Yes. So this is again exactly the one thing that we spoke about. One of the things that happened with the Microsoft Teams and Slack integrations today in SuperOps is the fact that tickets are auto created. The concept of tickets is to help an IT team standardize a process. So if an IT team is receiving a request on Slack and Teams, and then they go into their ticketing system to make a make a contact or make a ticket entry there and then start working on that so that it's documented. There's so much unnecessary time that's lost, not just on the user side, but on the technician side as well. And the bidirectional sync has to happen instantly as well. So now the end user has raised a request and technicians are right now troubleshooting the issues within the SuperOps service portal. But if they have to respond to the end users immediately, they shouldn't go back to Slack again and say, hey, I'm checking this on system A, so I'm going to reply to you on system B so that I can take care of things for you. So we don't want that to happen as well. So as soon as a technician sends a message from the SuperOps instance, the message gets automatically delivered into the Slack channels that the end users are part of, so they can get instant responses from there. And the unified visibility is what I'm talking about. Let's take this classic example, right? Let's say uh, let's say I'm a graphic designer, I'm part of your organization, and when I'm trying to render a huge file, my CPU has crashed and I need assistance with my IT team instantly. So whenever I raise a request with my IT team, like the technicians who are troubleshooting the ticket has to have information about this asset so that they can troubleshoot it. So what ideally happens today is, as soon as there is a request that's being raised, a technician has to jump into another tool where this particular device of the employee is being managed, and then he has to check on the insights, and then he has to correct that, then jump back to the ticket for communicating it to the user. So you already see there are 6 or 7 touch points that's happening before a technician can troubleshoot and inform something or gather some information from the end user. With SuperOps, that's exactly what we want to avoid. And I understand like a lot of the users who have joined us today are existing customers. So if you haven't started using the Slack and Teams integration with SuperOps, this is your sign to start integrating, and I'm going to give you more reasons as to why you need to do it instantly. We can move on, Mithra. Yes. So like I said, these are the things that changes for IT teams. I know this is just a slide and it has 4 points, which means faster first response, zero context loss, to reduce tool sprawl and better user experience. I'm not going to read through the slide and explain every single point. I'm just going to jump into the demo and show you a live instance where you can experience how this whole support workflow is being automated through Slack and Teams. So Mithra, yes. Let me share my screen. Just give me a quick minute here. I hope everyone is able to see my screen all right. So first and foremost thing, I am going to show you how the integration works with respect to Slack and Teams. We will eventually look into integrating with other communication tools as well, but like universally, MS Teams and Slack is something that everybody uses for communication these days. So you can integrate your SuperOps account with your Microsoft Teams. And let me talk to you about the one-on-one messaging, which is an interesting upgrade that we have as well. So you would be able to connect your Microsoft instance with SuperOps, and you would be able to instantly push that across your instance. So any user who's on MS Teams, this applies for Slack as well, can respond on a common channel or on a private thread with respect to the incidents or the service request that they want to raise, and it can be instantly created as tickets within SuperOps. And once this integration is set, let me just quickly jump onto the end user portal, right, and show you how easy it is to instantly raise a request from here. So, yeah. So let's say I'm an end user, right? So I run into something. The most common thing that every employee does is ping their IT team on Slack or Teams as soon as they run into something, or if they need something that has to be provisioned from the IT team, like an access, like an asset that they've requested, and so on. So we would be able to instantly, uh, you know, yeah, you would be able to instantly have those questions addressed as well. So let's say this is a Slack public channel. This is this Teams public channel that is available here. And like for instance, as an end user, if I want to request something, I don't need to go into any separate portal or Teams instance here. So let's say I need a MacBook Pro. Of course, that's going to need a lot of uh, approval cycles to come through. But let's just take a new example here. I need a MacBook Pro, and I have a client offsite and need it at the earliest. And one of the things that we've enhanced with our LLM models as well, like the end users need not even type their request completely. And one of the things that IT teams are often fed up with is the bunch of hi and hello being created as service requests. One of the beautiful things about SuperOps is if somebody sends just a hi or a hello message on these public channels, those requests are not going to be converted as tickets. Our LLMs are intelligent enough to understand that these are just greetings and not service requests. So that is a small minor tweak, but it's going to save a lot of clutter for the IT teams. So I'm just going to post this. And meanwhile, I saw a couple of questions here. Yeah. John has asked, is this webinar aimed at internal IT teams or service providers? So we have IT teams who are doing service delivery along with endpoint management. So endpoints are primarily managed in SuperOps, like all your Windows devices, Mac devices, Linux, network devices, everything is managed in SuperOps. But along with that, one of the things that one of the biggest advantages of using a tool like SuperOps is how you can streamline service delivery along with your endpoint management. And that's exactly the key thing that we are looking at here. So now this, as soon as an end user drops a message on the public channel, you see there's a ticket that has been created. And let me switch back to my technician instance to show you how that plays out as well. Yeah. So as an end user, right? So as a technician, as soon as the end user has raised the request, I will be able to see that available here. So I can see the request that has been raised. And one of the things that happens automatically once you set up the approvals and runbooks is the fact that you would be able to associate assets within the ticket screen for a particular end user. So let's say instead of a service request, it is an incident where somebody has mentioned that there is a problem with their Azure login and they need it to be reset instantly so that they can log into their account and start working on it. So you will have the context of the particular ticket available completely here. And apart from that, you will also have an asset associated in case if it's an issue related to a desktop or a Mac device, you will instantly have that asset associated here as well. So from a technician point of view, an end user has just dropped a request stating, hey, there's something odd with my asset that I need you to look into. But from a technician point of view, he's gotten that context from the user, and at the same time, he has that asset available right there on the ticket screen so that he can instantly start troubleshooting it. So that's the biggest advantage that we want to address here, because for internal IT teams, monitoring the assets or making sure that they are patched and completely updated is absolutely crucial. But having that context along with service delivery is game changing, because your service requests and the incident requests are solved much faster than how they were used to be solved earlier, because everything is now played out in a single forum. And one of the key things, though, this is the Slack and Teams integration that we have. And another interesting aspect of integration that we wanted to talk about is this is a new enhancements that we want to show exclusively on this call, which is going to be available on our Prime Plus plan, which is the one-on-one support. So let's say I don't want to have a public channel where I can just go in and post. I don't want another employee to see what I am requesting. So a lot of teams do not want to use a lot of teams do not want to use the public channel to post these requests, but you want these one-on-one messaging that's available as a bot. So SuperOps provisions that to you. Let me just quickly do that. So you can either have support provision through the public channel, or you can also have it through the one-on-one messaging as well. So you can have that changed. And what happens with one-on-one support is within Slacks or Microsoft Teams, you would have a bot installed on your Microsoft Teams instance. And you can either choose to auto install this bot across your instances, or you can choose to manually install them or add the app within your Microsoft instance as well. So, like to make the onboarding seamless and like for it to flow easily, you would have this option to auto install the bot across the instance as well. So yes, so once I change it, you would also be able to see, like, let's say there are 51 users in my organization. I can see if the app is successfully registered for the 51 users. If it is failed for some users, you would also be able to see that failure message right here as well. So you have that available. And apart from that, like right now that I have enabled this, I'm just going to go back to the end user portal to show you how the one-on-one experience is going to look like. Just give me a quick moment here. So as opposed to a public channel, you have a forum where they would be able to raise requests accordingly. Once you have the uh, end user portal, so or like the one-on-one support enabled, so you would see a separate Teams bot available within your Teams instance where users can directly have a chat and raise their request. Can just simply say, let's just take the usual example of something like that, right? So as soon as you raise a request here, just to show you an example, this is how a ticket would be created instantly, and all the responses are going to be threaded here. So every single message that you drop in the bot would be a separate support ticket. And for all the conversation related to that specific ticket, you would be able to see the thread. So this is how the end user experience would look like. And this syncs in three ways. So whatever the end user sends from the my MS Teams instance will be available in SuperOps and for technician in within their Microsoft Teams channel. Similarly, whatever is posted on SuperOps is going to be available in the technicians Teams channel as well as the end users Teams channel, so that whatever is comfortable, whatever is the closest to the resolution, technician can pick on them and instantly start using that without having to work on it more. So that is something that you would be able to do. And let me go back to the end user instance. And yes, so like, within the technician instance, I have, as you see, my PC is really, really slow, is what I had typed as an end user. But it summarizes, like, let's say, even if it's something very vague, vaguely explained by an end user, right? SuperOps, this LLM is going to read that and say, hey, okay, this is the exact problem that the end user is trying to convey, and it updates the suggestion accordingly. And one of the things that SuperOps does instantly, as you know, with the AI features is this is something that you cannot see if you are consistently working out of like if you are consistently working out of the uh, Microsoft Teams and Slack, because you don't have AI automation of your help desk and context available within your communication channels. So this is why this is really crucial, because as soon as somebody sends an email, you have similar tickets, so you can instantly. So just to go back and answer the first question, right? So let's say 20 users are pinging the IT teams continuously about their PC being really slow or the network being really slow. What you can achieve with SuperOps is the fact that as soon as technician is working on a ticket, he can see similar tickets. So he can see if it's a pattern or just a one-off instance that's available. So that is something that is a great advantage for IT teams, because uh, usually this diagnosing and troubleshooting happens much later in the process, where you say, hey, I have two users who's reporting the same issue, I have three users who's reporting the same issue. Maybe it's all part of the larger problem that we need to solve, so that we solve all of these tickets in bulk. Like, all these processes take a really long time, because they happen in silos. The conversation happens in silos, ticketing happens in silos, troubleshooting happens in silos, and that is exactly what we want to curb by having this integration in. So this whole integration is the fundamental piece for any AI innovation that is going to come in the product in the future, because be it your LLM based bot automation, where you can deflect a bunch of tickets through knowledge base, or automatically address some of the common questions that your end user raises instantly. So all of those is going to be available based on the Slack and Teams integration that you have set up. So if you haven't started using it yet, this is something that you can use, not just for all the things that it serves today, but it's for the greater good that it's going to serve tomorrow as well. Because like I said, an AI can work efficiently, and your AI is only as good as the context that it is provided to that it is provided with. So SuperOps not only becomes the single system of records, but even in within a service workflow, by integrating MS Teams and Slack along with your endpoint management, your context is very closely working with each other. That gives AI the ammunition to suggest more relevant solutions, suggest more relevant suggestions or similar tickets for you to refer to. And like, let's say you are solving this issue instantly, and you want another technician to be benefited out of this, you have the ability to generate a knowledge base article based on the issue that you solved. So if this is the same issue that's across the 50 member or a 100-member team that you have, you can document this instantly, so that next time another technician looks at a recommended solution, it's going to say, hey, technician A has already worked on a similar ticket, and this is the knowledge base that he has created. Maybe you should try these solutions before you can proceed into the next thing. So from SuperOps' perspective, or SuperOps' POV, we don't see Microsoft Teams and Slack as, or like the service or help desk as a separate entity. It is very much for the IT teams as much as it is for the service providers, because it is serving both the use cases and both the purposes. So that is one thing that we want to reiterate as well. So yes, I think yeah, I think some of the MSPs have joined in. And does this work for like, I'm just going through the questions to see if I could get some of that addressed. Yeah, does this work for MSPs that attend to multiple clients? So right now, this is only available for the IT instance of SuperOps, but because this is exactly the problem or pain point of an IT team that we want to instantly solve for, we do have Microsoft Teams and Slack integration with our MSP product as well, but that's more about the notification. But the conversational ticketing is something that we have only for the IT instance today. And Tara has also asked, does the responses we send from SuperOps tickets to the Teams channel post in the Teams channel, or does it stay in the ticket? It's bidirectional. So as a technician, whatever I reply here, so I can just instantly sorry, that's a side conversation. I can just say, let me, yeah, looking into this. I can just reply from my SuperOps instance, and that is instantly going to be delivered in here. So as you can see, this is the end user portal, and I've raised this, and within the same card, I see the response that has been sent from the Microsoft ticketing end. So a technician can reply from a ticket, a technician can reply from his team's account, and all of that would be threaded within the ticket in SuperOps, as well as in the user conversation, as well as in the technician conversation in Microsoft Teams. It syncs three ways. Like, it is available, all the context is available everywhere. So that's the best part about this. And let me see if there's anything. Yes. And yeah. So this is the latest enhancement that we have introduced as well. Let me just go back to the settings. And yeah. So this is right now available. Like Mithra pointed out on the chat, this is a new enhancement that we have. This is a new feature that we have created on the Prime Plus plans. You can reach out to your customer success managers who can help you out with enabling this for your account based on your usage. That is something that you can write to success@superops.com, and your success manager would reach out to you about enabling this, and like they would be able to explain how this is going to play out on your plan as well. So right now on the integration page, this is how it's going to look like, which is on the MS Teams. You would have, if you want to prefer a private channel or a public channel, so you can either set up one of them and work with it based on how your IT team really operates. And Robert here has asked a very interesting question, which is, SuperOps have some functionality like Robin and autopilot and auto remediation of problems? Yes, we do. And we don't want to do a feature to feature comparison, right? Because that would be different, because our philosophy is to be AI native, so that you don't feel SuperOps having AI on top of modules and features that exist already. One of the basic example that we want to give you today is the fact that like the AI automatically starts working as soon as as soon as you open a particular ticket. So right now, all these information that you see, so like Monica can summarize the ticket, summarize the work log, recommend solutions instantly, and generate knowledge-based articles. And for IT teams especially, you have the ability to deflect these tickets through the knowledge base as well. So we are having incredible. So knowledge based deflection is something that you have. So right now the deflection happens when they raise the issues through portal, but we have much more interesting updates coming up from our side, which is why I said it's going to start working on Slack and Teams as well, so that when end users raise requests, the auto remediation is going to kick in right then and there. So SuperOps covers the AI on the entire ticket life cycle. Like, the goal is to, as soon as a technician opens a ticket, what is he going to see? Like, instantly he would be able to see what's the latest update on the particular ticket, what are the things that I can check instantly to get started on this, and then the AI recommends solutions. Hey, first, technician is understanding the context instantly. Then he gets the context as to what is the best course of action that I'm going to do from here with recommended solution and similar tickets. And then now I've used the knowledge from the past as a means to close this ticket faster. But how am I going to turn that into deflection? That's why you have the generate KB option, so that once the KB is generated, when end users are going to raise request, now through portal and eventually through any other support channels, SuperOps is going to automatically deflect these requests based on the resolutions that have already been turned into knowledge. So it's going to be AI native, and it's incredible that you asked this question today, because we have another uh, you know like we have another session that's coming up tomorrow, which is going to talk about how an AI native service desk or an AI first ticketing is going to look like. And we'll be able to show you what we have planned for, our AI roadmap and our AI philosophy, just like you wanted to know about what SuperOps has in comparison to something like Robin for Atera. And yes, yeah. So these are some of the things that we wanted to address today on these calls, and these are some of the use cases that we want to present today as well. So I'm just going through, yeah. So with respect to enabling the one-on-one support, you can reach out to your end user, and we would be more than happy to, help you with how we can have this enabled in your account and what's the process going to be about. But if you are more interested in knowing about what our AI philosophy is and what next in SuperOps with respect to AI, we have a session that's coming up tomorrow that's going to exactly address all of those concerns. So we'll also have a notification sent out to you if you are interested in joining that as well. And yeah, Connor has raised that we don't want end users to submit tickets through Teams, but we want notifications for new tickets in Teams. However, okay. So this is something that should be possible as well. So we'll have your end customer success team help you with it. And yeah, we'll help you set this up and I within your instance so that you can get notification instantly. We would like to understand your use case better and provide appropriate solutions. So yes, you would be able to have notifications enabled as well as if you want to use that as a means for support, you would be able to do that as well, right? Yes. Does SuperOps offer educational discounts? So we don't offer educational discounts specifically, but with respect to anything, we would be able to put you in touch with the sales team so that they are better equipped to address these promotional questions. So Andrew, we would have our team reach out to you instantly to have that addressed as well, right? So these are the things that we wanted to talk to you about today because we see a bunch of our IT teams. We have one of our power users, one of government institutions that use or one of the educational institutions that use SuperOps today use Microsoft Teams or leverage Microsoft Teams as a separate channel, as a support channel to a large extent, which has been a game changing for improving their operational efficiency. And that is something that we wanted to highlight by bringing this to your notice as well. There are a lot of questions that has come through today, and we'll more than happy to take this offline and help you with all of these requests so that you can start using this and you can have this enabled in your account and get started accordingly. And Kobe felt that this is something that MSPs should need as well. So this is an enhancement that we've released first for IT teams because we feel that this is a pain that's much more relevant in IT to start with. And whatever we are shipping in the IT instance, we'll surely take it to the MSP instance as well. But we wanted to start with the problem statement that's prevalent in IT and then have the same applicable for the MSP audience as well. So for Kobe and Christina would ask about how is this going to work out for an MSP scenario. Thank you so much for raising this in this particular conversation because we are going to have this feedback directly passed on to our product team so that you would be able to, fast track this request and have this functionality on the MSP front as soon as possible as well. So that is something that we wanted to talk. And yes, with respect to Andrew, our sales team would reach out to you with respect to educational discounts and offers on that specific verticals because, yeah, they would be more equipped to get that answer as well. And yes. I think these are some of the things that we wanted to talk to you about in detail today. We wanted to show you how this works in a practical scenario. Wanted to take your feedback and see what we could improve. And like we wanted to make you get the best out of SuperOps and see if it's going to improve your operational efficiency or the way you work within your IT organizations today. So That's it from my end, and thank you so much for all your feedback and questions. It was a really engaging session that we had today. Over to you, Mithra.
Thank you, Sriram. Thank you for answering all those questions. I hope the session was super helpful, guys. And we'll meet you soon in the next session. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye.